Hello, good evening, everybody. I've been requested to do a tutorial for my version of Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, but the John Mayer cover. My cover of his cover. Double cover. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep it really brief, but hopefully make it concise so you guys can go and sort of, play it on your own, basically. So I'll just run over gear quickly. This is a PRS Silver Sky guitar, which I've got going straight into a Boss RC1 loop pedal. That's it, there's no other pedals. And then that goes straight into my Scarlett 2i2 audio interface, which then goes into my computer, which is running through Logic. And I can't actually remember exactly the plugins that I used for the original cover because somehow I've managed to lose the session, which I don't know how you lose a Logic project, but I lost it. So I'm pretty sure it was just EQ, an amp simulator, just the stock one built into Logic, some compression and a reverb. So you can get all of those in Logic. I actually put on a screenshot of the settings that I'm going to be using this time just to demonstrate which are the ones that I've been using and I used in some of my other guitar covers. Well, my only other guitar cover. But to be honest with you, in terms of my sort of tone, I'm still sort of figuring it out. I haven't been doing this for too long, so I'm experimenting and I suggest you do the same. So that's pretty much gear. In terms of the setting on my guitar, I'm pretty sure I'm playing on the neck pickup with the tone knob set about half. Strings, I'm using like 11 gauge Ernie balls, nothing special. I can't think of anything else really that you might want to know about it. Yeah, so basically it's a fight. I'm going to go over each sort of layer of the loop individually, and you can hear how it's built in the cover, so I'm not going to go over it again, but I'll go over each layer so you can figure out how to play each part, because that can be a bit confusing when you're hearing them all over each other. So the first part is just going to be the regular sort of guitar part from John Mayer's version of Free Fallin'. I'm not going to explain that either because there are so many tutorials out there on it. It's normally played on Capo 3, but for the sake of just ease on, we're not singing, so it's not going to affect my range, so I just play it open. You can play it wherever you like. So it's... So that's the idea, basically. So actually the first part of the loop that I laid down was just some percussion. So literally just muting all the strings with your left hand, picking that for sort of like what you'd think is like a bass sort of thing or a kick, and then slapping for a snare sort of sound, and then pulling for some intermittent, maybe like a hi-hat or something, I don't know. So those are the three sort of things at your disposal there. So I just did a simple like 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it's important to get that as tight as you can, so practice with a metronome. I laid down 2 bars worth, but you could just use 1 if you want. Okay, so actually technically 4 bars worth, right? 4 counts of 4. So once that was down, I just played for the main riff, which you can, again, learn on different YouTube videos. The next part was adding some triads to add to the sort of top end of the frequencies, the spectrum, whatever, I don't know what the fuck it's called. Okay, so the first triad is what looks like an A major triad, but actually ends up being a D7 sus2. So it looks like this. So we've got 7th fret D string, 6th fret G string, and 5th fret B string. The next is a G major 7. So we've got the G, we've got the G, which is 5th fret D string. We've got the third of the chord, which is a B, which is 4th fret G string. And then we've got the 7th note up here, which is going to be the 7th fret of the B string. So far it's... And then the next is just going to be A major triad, but we're adding a 5th on top. So instead of just your normal triad, then we're adding this up here. So these are the 3 triads. So say that again. So that's 2nd fret D string, 2nd fret G string, 5th fret B string. Okay, so, And the pattern is going to look like this. So I'm just going to play the main riff underneath it, so you can hear how it's meant to sound in terms of the pattern. So like this. So that's that basically. The next is going to be just some lower bass notes. First of all, we're going to be going from D to G, G to A, which is the chord progression of the whole loop. So this is how I played it. So basically, this is a 10th fret E string, low E string, and then 7th fret on the D string, and then 11th fret on the G string. And then we just slide the shape down to the G, and we're now playing an open D string, this B here, the 4th fret of the G string, and then this G on the E string. And then we slide it up to the A and in the exact same shape, which is a bit of a stretch because you've got to reach down to that. Sorry, that's the note, yeah. Got to reach down to that 2nd fret on the D string. If you can't reach that and you've got smaller hands or whatever, then you can actually play it like this instead, which means that instead of playing on the D string, you're going to be just playing the 5th on the A string instead. So yeah, that underneath the main melody sounds like this. So it's nice to get that like slide in from the D to the G and G to the A. We're playing the same finger pattern as when we had these triads, sorry. But if you don't want to do that, you can mess around and see how you feel with that. And then finally, the last loop part is going to be this, which so what that is basically is we're playing a D up here, sorry, 10th fret E string, then we're playing 11th fret G string, and then we're hitting this 10th fret on the B string after, so that's the first bit. So then you're playing after that this G chord, which is 10th fret on the A string, and then 12th fret on these two strings, the G and the B string. So just 3 notes there. That again, and then you're going to play, which is now an A chord, A shape, so it's just this G shape moved up 2 frets. So you got 12 on the A string, 14 and 14 on the G and B string. Before that, you just had you can add this little 15 on the B string, so it sounds like this. And then you can do that again at the end. Just slide up on that B string from 14 to 15. And then back to the beginning. Underneath the main loop, I'm just going to play that for you. Okay, so that's the full, all the sections of the loop. You just loop those over each other. If you want one, sometimes it's nice to, in different parts of the loop, experiment with changing the tone knob just to make it sound a little bit softer in parts, and I'll let you experiment with that. So I'll keep this brief in terms of how I played the melody. Basically, you need to know your pentatonic scale, your major scale and your major pentatonic scale. In this situation, we're in D. And the pentatonic. So basically you need to know those two, and then it's a matter of just listening to the song, play along with the melody, and if you listen to the song enough, you should have the melody in your head. It should just be a case of moving up and down that pentatonic scale, adding those little intermittent notes that you get from the major scale, and yeah, just playing along with your loop, just vibing it out. In terms of improvisation, that's just a completely different topic. So I just started in the first position of the D major pentatonic scale, and I just da, 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 da. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too, yeah. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've missed. I think that's it, to be honest. I'm glad so many of you enjoyed it. It's pretty crazy to me, even having like 2,000 people have watched it. I know it's not many really in the grand scheme of YouTube, but to me, I was just happy to get my first 100 views. So, yeah, thank you very much for all the nice comments, and plenty more to come. If you have any requests, just let me know. I'm really keen to try new stuff. So, yeah, thanks very much.